A tribute to my grandmother Wilma, who I call Bamma. My Bamma was born in Camden, Missouri in 1936. She graduated in 1956 from the same high school that I did, my parents too. And in her senior year, she married her sweetheart, Richard, my Bampa. She raised a family of 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl. That girl was my mother. Soon, Bamma would have many nieces and nephews and 2 grandchildren, and would be the best Bamma one could ever ask for. As a child, I spent a lot of time with my Bamma, who was a young grandmother in her mid-40s. Some of my earliest memories are of the 2 of us snuggling in my grandparents' bed, watching Bugs Bunny and classic black and white sitcoms after being dropped off early in the morning so that my parents could go to work. For a while, she had a fabric store in a strip mall just down the road from their house. And I remember the sounds of her being at work at her sewing machine. So nostalgic, as she made alterations and even wedding dresses for her customers. I loved organizing the displays with zippers, spools of thread, buttons, and simplicity catalogs and patterns. And I had a habit of helping, that's in quotes, by spraying the walls with bottles of spray cleaner, which my Bamma would soon learn to replace with bottles of water. To this day, when I smell new carpet, it takes me back to the fabric store immediately. My Bamma made several costumes for me as a kid who was always in a dance class, and she was awesome at Halloween costumes too. Once my sister was born, the fabric shop moved into the basement of their house, and we spent quite a bit of time there. Bamma loved to sit out on the patio with a glass of lemonade or an iced tea. I remember talking with Bamma on that patio and everything being so peaceful. From my Bamma, I learned how to be sentimental about things, like treasures passed down from generation to generation. I learned about table etiquette and how to behave. Bamma was awesome at holidays and decorating, and it became a tradition to help her decorate every year. My Bampa died 10 years ago. My Bamma moved into a nursing facility 2 years ago, survived much of the pandemic, and later recovered from COVID-19. This spring, Bamma's body had had enough, and after a painful 2-week fight that seemed to last forever, she died in hospice on May 10th, 2021. She was buried with the ashes of my Bampa. Here's a cute moment my Bamma recorded in 1985 when she was reading a book to my little sister.
That's a prehistoric name.
Look.
Elephant.
Elephant.
Say hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus. Look.
Say giraffe.
Duck.
Zap. Say lion.
Lion.
Tiger.
Tiger.
And say monkey.
Monkey.
That's a skeleton.
Going.
What's this back here?
In late August of 2019, I called my Bamma and recorded our conversation. And in that conversation, I asked her to retell some of the stories she had of my Bampa reaching out from the other side. I also asked her about who she expected to greet her when she crossed over.
Hi,
Hey, Bamma.
how are you?
I'm good. I just had dinner and went to Sonic and had a little treat even.
Well, that sounds good. I'd like to have a treat too. The
What?
trouble of it makes my sugar go up.
Well, I think it makes all of our sugar go up.
Oh gosh, yes, but I like to have those treats.
What did you have for dinner? You and I talked the first time I visited you in the room that you're in now. And we were talking, and you were telling me about the night that you said you saw Bampa, and then and you knocked him off the bed. And I wondered if you and I loved that so much. And what's funny is when I was talking to you that day, that was the most you lit up. Your face was all lit up, and you were so happy telling that story. And I wondered if you'd retell it now that I'm recording it.
Yeah, but you know, Patrick, that's the last time that I ever saw him.
Yeah, I remember you saying
After that, no more. I never had any more visions or anything after that. But I just woke up one morning. I was going to turn over in bed, and I turned over, and I heard a plump on the floor. And I looked down there, and Daddy was sitting there. And I laughed. And all of a sudden, then it just kind of, he went up and smoked and left. And that was the very last time I ever saw him. I thought maybe he's mad because I laughed at him.
You don't remember him having a reaction before he disappeared?
No, he was just kind of sitting with his knees up. And all of a sudden, just disappeared. That was it. And then, like the time, one morning, it was right after he died. It hadn't been too long. I felt a pat on my behind. And
that's right.
I felt that. And I woke up and turned around. And, of course, it just, not there. And, but it was at the time he usually would come, and that's how he would wake me up, pat me like that to get me up. And a couple other times he came in through the bedroom door and came and just stood there or something. But, and that happened, several times, and I just dreaded going to bed. I wish that, I could go and just sleep and not have to, because some of them, his face looked so weird and pale, and
so it made you uncomfortable sometimes.
It made me uncomfortable, yeah. And I was just glad that those were over. But and that happened just a couple of times. But the other times he was just in his khakis and his t-shirt, and he'd come and stand at the foot of the bed or just walk through the door there and come by the bed, and then he was gone. But that one when he fell on the floor, that just...
Well, do you think that was his way of, lightening up for you so that you weren't uncomfortable, and then just, let you know that you didn't need him to hang around anymore or something?
Well, it could be, because I never had that anymore after that. Mm-hmm. And there at first, it seemed like every night I was going, and some of them were not good visions, Mm-hmm. And they were kind of scary. But the ones that were real with him, with his khakis and stuff, I knew. But I don't know why I had those other visions that were kind of creepy. Like one came through the bedroom door, and I had some kind of cape on over his head and everything, but his face looked so drawn and it just didn't look good. And I had two of those like that.
A cape?
And those are the ones that
Would Grandpa have ever worn a cape?
No.
Hmm.
So I don't know why that was. And there was two like that. And that's what made me was so uncomfortable about that.
Mm-hmm.
But now the others didn't bother me.
Did you ever have any dreams that felt really profound? Like, you know, it could have been him visiting you in dreams or anything?
No. Never had any dreams.
Hmm.
It's funny. And I still don't. I don't dream. I never have had a dream about him or anything, but these were just visions that came to me. And they weren't a dream because I was awake. Woke up and even those two awful ones that I had, I was awake. It's, you know.
Did I ever tell you about the dream I had that I feel like it was a visit, you know, in my dream of Grandma Van coming back after Bampa died?
No.
It wasn't long after Bampa died. And it was because most of my memories of Grandma Van was in her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And she had her chair in the corner. Remember, in the living room, she had a chair
mm-hmm. Yeah.
that she used to sit in. And I remember seeing all her, like,
mm-hmm.
you know, like old lady,
mm-hmm.
you know, decorations and figurines around. And I remember, like, I was seeing her in the corner and she was all lit up, Bamma. She was lit up and she had a light around her and she was talking to me. And I don't, like, now that after I woke up, you know, I had no clue what she said,
mm-hmm.
but in my dream, like, I completely knew what she was saying. And I could just tell she was, like, comforting me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely her after Bampa died. And I thought that was, I've always thought that was kind of cool. And it's also why I've, you know, all this stuff that I have of Grandma Van, you know, I feel like I have a connection with her a little bit to get a visit from her.
Yeah. Well, I'll be darned. No, I hadn't heard that one before. Oh, it's strange, but, you know, after that last one that I saw Daddy, then I was kind of at peace after that. And I guess just me laughing or something, I don't know, it was...
This is my mom asking Bamma a question next to the phone.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
But that's when he had that weird look on his face and stuff, and that's what got me. Yeah, she said when he came and kissed me on the cheek.
Oh.
And I said that was when one of those weird ones that I had when he had that cape on or something. And he came down and kissed me on the cheek.
Well, one thing that I think is interesting is most of that stuff happened like in your bedroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the same bedroom that Mom and Dad had their experience with Grandpa Keller. Do you remember hearing about that?
Oh, yeah. Grandpa Keller was,
You know, when he came and knocked on the window.
On the window, yeah.
Because that's one of the coolest stories I've ever heard. That's cool.
Oh, there's a lot of things you can't, understand or anything, but but when I could see him in his khakis and his t-shirt and everything, that was very real to me and very peaceful.
Yeah.
But those other two that I had, that they weren't. So I don't know what those meant.
Can you, it might be way far off in the future, but do you know what's the first thing you're going to say to Bampa when you see him in heaven? Like, what are you excited about for that moment? Because I I mean, I'd be super excited. Or are you excited?
Oh, I would probably, when I get up there, I'd say, have you been waiting for me? That's probably what I'll say.
Who else?
Have you been waiting for me?
Who else do you think will be there?
Oh, well, a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mother will be there. I don't know.
There's been a couple books that I've read that have talked about, in the 60s and 70s, they started studying a lot of patients who were, at the time they crossed over, they would document who they said they saw and who was there to help them cross over. And sometimes they say that, it's people they don't necessarily expect, or they seem shocked when someone's there to that they're talking to them.
I would like to think that like Aunt Marie would be there and Rosa May. Those two probably. Alan, Margaret Lee. But Rosa May and Aunt Marie especially, and Grandma.
I wonder how many puppy dogs will be there.
Oh, there'll be a lot of puppy dogs up there.
Did you have any pets growing up before, like Puddles?
Oh, growing up, we had some kind of a dog all the time. We had one, Skippy.
Oh, I remember hearing about
Skippy. He wasn't very big. Yeah, but we had him a long time. We were up there in Napoleon on the farm. But other than that, of course, we had a great big German Shepherd, too. But he was kind of mean to us.
Was he like a outside farm dog?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of wild.
Yeah. Other than that, I can't think of any.
I know as soon as I hang up, I'm going to think of about 6 questions.
Well, you'll have to think of them and ask me again.
Okay, well, Bamma, I love you, and I hope you have a good rest, and I'll come visit you sometime this weekend.
Okay, babe. I love you, too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
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 I love you, Bamma. Additional music in today's special episode is by the amazing Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com.